Hi there, welcome to Flowing in Dreams. This is going to be my eyeshadow palette review for February. Welcome to everybody watching today. Thank you so very much for joining me. In February, I tested out 4 Chinese beauty eyeshadow palettes. So these are by Flower Knows and by Cheeryep. Both of them are Chinese beauty brands that do really lovely packaging, and I just wanted to test out some more. I tried one palette from each of those brands in 2024 that I really enjoyed, so I knew that I wanted more, and then I found all of these in the Black Friday sales, and I was like, I'm gonna test them out for you. So I have the Flower Knows Weeping Angel, the Flower Knows Violet Rococco Star Moon Strawberry. Look at the packaging. I have the Black Swan palette, and from Cheeryep, I have this really sort of, you don't see it in this lighting, but the pink on this is like an iridescent, and it is the Cheeryep Jump for Joy. So with these palettes, I've tested them all out. I put these on my face. I've done looks with every single pan in each of these palettes. Granted, these are smaller palettes, so that did mean that I was I made it quite easily this month, so that's why the eye look I'm wearing today wasn't done with any of these palettes. I used the Colourpop That's Taupe, which is currently in my Shop My Stash as an eyeshadow palette I wanted to get more use out of. So that's definitely part of this channel as well. However, when I looked at my entire planning, I cannot film my palettes revisited eyeshadow video this month because I have no space. February is too short, so because it's only 28 days, I can no longer fit it in. So I've decided to still try out the things that are currently in my Shop My Stash, do all the pictures and stuff, and rope the images into the video I'm doing for my March palettes revisited instead. So you're still going to see that content at some point. I'm just gonna park that video for now, because I have no space to sort of upload it anywhere within my regular uploading schedule. And there are other videos that I really want to do with some new Essence and Catrice stuff, and I really want to get my declutters up in March as well. So it meant I had to make some choices here, so you're not going to miss out on any of those looks I'm doing with some of my older palettes for sure, but I'm just going to be rolling them into what I do at the end of March. So let's get to these palettes. So the first one I played with was this Black Swan palette from Flower Knows. Let's take a moment here to appreciate this packaging. It is really, really stunning. That's one of the things that sucks me in with Flower Knows all the time. I have been eyeing them up for some time, but their products aren't the cheapest. Like, these palettes retail for around 30 euros each. Some of the bigger ones are even a little bit more expensive. And I definitely think also that Chinese beauty can have a bit of a bad rep, as in, because it's from China, it's not going to be good quality makeup. But I was pleasantly surprised. I was sent another palette from Flower Knows by YESSTYLE that I had had on my wish list for quite some time, and I really enjoyed the formula. So I was like, you know what? I want to see what Flower Knows is all about and test some of the other palettes that were still on my wish list out to give you my full review. And here is what the Black Swan looks like. It's very reflective in the packaging. It's very over the top. It's very sparkly, but the shadows in here are really lovely. If you look within Asian beauty brands, especially the ones from China, this sort of color story with like grays and a pop of red, it's everywhere. It is literally everywhere. So what I ended up doing is actually I split this palette in like 2 halves. I did more of like a grayish look focusing on this silver, and then I did another look where I used this red shade and the white on top of it. Sorry, the silver is over here, and this white tone, which looks like a straight up white. But when you use it, it actually has a pink flash, and it was really pretty paired with the red look. I think I actually did a full face of K-Beauty at the start of February, and I used this eyeshadow palette to create that look with the red. So if you want to see that going onto my face, I will make sure to link that in the description box down below so you can see how I actually put the look together. But this was really, really lovely, and I really enjoyed this. I am affiliated with YESSTYLE though, so if you would like to buy these as well, and maybe get a little bit of money off, then you can use my code FLOATTRAIN23. It's always listed in the description box below, and you can get 5% off of your next order if you use that. The next one I tried was this little pastel loving thing. This is the Violet Rococco in Strawberry Rococco in the Star Moon Strawberry shade. This is so, so pretty. It's got these really pretty pastels. It's very spring-like. I really enjoyed this palette as well. And I think this was actually my favorite of the three that I tried this time round, because these shimmers are really lovely. The mattes blend super easily, and especially this peachy tone. In advance, I didn't think I was gonna love it, but tapped all over the lid, it was so stunning. And I really enjoyed the way these pinks and these purpley blue tones really work together. It was a bit out there for me. I don't normally go for shades like this, but that's why I wanted to try it, and it was a gamble that paid off because this looked lovely. It was this really pretty, whimsical, ethereal look, which is what I love from time to time, and this is really excellent quality. And the packaging, again, let's take a moment for this gorgeous, gorgeous packaging because this was stunning. My least favorite of the three that I've tried is the Weeping Angel, sadly. Again, really nice, over-the-top packaging. And I was very much intrigued with this because it had sort of like the blues with the purples and then some really nice neutrals. I really like the shade here at the top. I like how it opens like a little book. This is so beautiful looking. But I felt a little bit disappointed with the looks that I ended up doing. My main disappointment was this blue shimmer. It creased really badly on me, which is something I hadn't experienced with Flower Knows yet. Whereas this shade, it didn't really look right. The gold was pretty, but I'm not a huge lover of gold. And what I just ended up doing was that I did a look with these shades, and then I did a look with these shades. And the looks did come out really prettily at first. I just felt that the wear time of this palette wasn't exactly the way I had hoped. I always double prime my lids, which means that I do a clear primer at the start of my makeup to help makeup like last. And then I go in with a primer like the Paint Pot by MAC in Painterly. I do that right before I do the actual eyeshadow look, and I set that with an eyeshadow to help with blending because I don't like a sticky base. And it works normally with every single eyeshadow I wear. Like nothing will crease on me really. I do have deep set hooded eyes, so creasing is one of the main things that can happen to my makeup if I wear it all day. And with this, I definitely experienced that. So that was a bit of a letdown. I also felt that some of these shimmers weren't as sophisticated and pretty as, for instance, the ones that were in the Strawberry Rococco palette or the ones that were in the Black Swan. I felt that especially the gold and the blue were almost a little bit heavy, and I think that's why. They're just a slightly different formula from other things I've tried, and I do really like the softer pastel-y things in here, and like I said, this shimmer, I know in the reflective packaging you can't really see, but this is such a pretty like silvery, taupey, sparkly thing that really made the palette for me. I just wish the blue and the gold were a little bit better. And finally, I used the Cheeryep Jump for Joy. I picked this one up in the Black Friday sales from MONOLITH because MONOLITH also stocks some Chinese beauty brands, especially the ones that fall more into the indie category. I have found out that there is a website dedicated to all of these Chinese makeup brands called C Beauty Mall. They ended up in like my spam folder somehow. So that's why I didn't think I could trust them, but I have seen other creators talking about this website, that it is a reliable resource for picking up things like Cheeryep, and I do a whole host of brands that I've never heard of. I had a browse already to see if there was anything I wanted to pick up, but a lot of the products on the website seem to be out of stock. So I don't know if, like Flower Knows, they just work with a lot of limited edition collections and it's like a grab it while you can kind of thing. So I'm not really sure how that works, but that's why I'm happy I was able to pick this up through MONOLITH. The first one I tried, which was the Fleeting Life palette from Cheeryep, I did get from YESSTYLE because YESSTYLE sells Cheeryep as well. So there are multiple places where you can find this brand. I think I got 50% off on this. And also MONOLITH is a website I am affiliated with, so you can always find my code, which is _Micah_5, and that also gets you 5% off of the entire website. They do deactivate the code, and I'm not always aware of that, but very often if you try again in a couple of days, it will work. So, and I can make a small commission with both of those codes that I've mentioned. The Jump for Joy is essentially a pink palette. And I mentioned in 2024 when I did a trial of a lot of K-beauty palettes that I really wanted to find that sort of soft pink that I see all over Asian beauty talk. It's like everywhere. And I think it's so pretty and ethereal and whimsical looking. And I wanted that look. And I tried a couple of things from Clio and Romand, and I tried a couple of my favorite K-beauty brands with their eyeshadow palettes in 2024 to sort of find that pretty pink look. And nothing I bought was really it, because everything ended up pulling quite warm toned on me, or it was very berry and it wasn't quite the pink tones that I wanted. But now I have this, and I can report to you that these are exactly the kind of pinks that I was hoping to find. So this is a really lovely palette. It is the same sort of formula that I have in the original Cheeryep palette. The only difference between the one in the red packaging I already have and this one is that this one doesn't have any of the multi-chromes in. Yet it is as expensive if you buy it full price as the one in the red packaging is. So I'm not sure what's going on there, because I really, really love the formula of the red one, which is why I wanted to try more. And this really seemed to give me that really nice pink tone that I was looking for. We get some cooler pinks in this side of the palette. We get some like peachy pinks here, and then this is a little bit more warm toned. So there is a bit of a gradient going on in this palette. My favorite look was the more cool toned one, but I did feel as I was putting on these 3 different looks that I did, that whether I was putting on the cool tone one or the more warm toned one, I couldn't really discern a really big difference between them. Yes, there was a slightly different undertone, but they still looked really pretty, and I got a very similar effect. There are some really pretty sparkly shades in this palette that I really enjoy, especially this one as well. It's really pretty, but like I mentioned, it's not the multi-chromes like you have in the Fleeting Life palette. That's a bit of a shame, but there are some really beautiful like crease shades in here, enough shades to deepen things up. You get some blend shades to either use as a brow bone highlighter just to make sure your eyeshadow looks blended, and then you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 really amazing, really good quality shimmers. And for a bit of interest, you get this sort of lime green looking shade, which I think is a bit of the letdown of the palette. Like, it didn't show up, that lime green. I only use it on the lower lash line though, so maybe if I use it another way, I could have gotten more out of it, I think. But yeah, it is a beautiful palette, and now I just have that bright sort of Asian beauty pink look that I've seen so many people wearing, and that I really like the look of, but that I hadn't really found a product that could do that yet. And now I do have it. So I'm very, very happy with these bits. So yeah, thank you so very much for joining me here today. I know this was a quick one. These eyeshadow palettes are quite small, so I don't have like a ton of different looks to show you. But yeah, I really hope you still enjoyed watching this video. Since I'm like caught up with all of these eyeshadow palettes that I have, I don't think these palette videos are going to be super duper long in the future. I'm just going to test out whatever it is I have that is new to me, and that's what's going to go into these videos. So thank you so very much for joining me, and then I hope to see you again very, very soon in a new video, because I do post 4 times a week. And if you could thumbs up this video in the meantime, that would greatly help me out. So thank you so very much for being here, and then I hope to see you again in my next one. Bye-bye!